Hello, nerds. Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This is your Week in Nerdom Movies edition for the week of October 22nd, 2018. The year is almost over, and we're just getting into some really interesting stuff. Movies this week, we have Avengers 4 news. We have Doctor Strange 2. There's more, but let's hit the intro, and then we'll get to all of that.
Quiet on the set. Rolling.
Hi, I am Bitsy Telek.
Hey, I'm Hale Appleman.
I'm Walter Kane.
I'm Rene Aubergenois. Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Commander Worf, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Come and see me and hear me and talk to me and listen to me talk about myself.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, often considered generally nerdy, and you are listening to what is often considered generally nerdy.
On Generally Nerdy.
You're listening to
Generally Nerdy.
Generally Nerdy.
Generally nerdy.
First thing, we're not going to bury the lead. Avengers 4, just a real quick update, not really news necessarily, but they have officially wrapped on not just primary photography, on all of the reshoots as well. So we are this much closer to getting trailers and maybe leaks, and it's about to get really interesting, and probably the actual announcement of the subtitle for it, instead of just calling it Avengers 4, it'll be Avengers Infinity Gauntlet or whatever, because the last one was Infinity War, right? Get it? Infinity Gauntlet is what they're all going for now, so they can undo the snap. So yeah, just again, real quick thing, they're done. We're gonna get things very soon, and we're moving on. Next is staying in the Marvel camp. We are getting Doctor Strange 2 updates from Benedict Wong, who plays Wong in the movie. Super difficult, I'm sure. Said tentatively at a con over the weekend that the plan is tentatively they are going to start filming by the end of this year, which puts the likelihood of us seeing Doctor Strange 2 for Christmas next year very, very strong. I will next week we'll go over the actual Marvel release, everything that's been announced and all that jazz, because I don't think Doctor Strange 2 is on that list, but I haven't looked at it for a few days, so it very well could have been updated and I'm unaware. So if it has been, don't hang me in the comments, please. But yeah, so he was also at the con that he was talking about this. He was very, very coy about what his fate was going to be in Avengers 4. Because he is in Avengers 4. So feasibly, though, the story in Doctor Strange 2 could happen before the events of Avengers 4, kind of fill in some of the gaps for what happened from Doctor Strange 1 until the events of Avengers 4. So I'm sure even if his character dies off in Avengers 4, the Doctor Strange 2 movie isn't necessarily going to be affected by that. So I don't know how likely that is, though, but whatever. We're gonna kick on over to Spider-Man Far From Home. They have wrapped on primary photography. That I feel like that was really quick. I feel like that was just under 3 months. I would have to go back and check the records again, but yeah, that seems. And you're working with kids. I don't know. That I don't feel like that's. It could go either way. It's kind of 50-50 if it's a bad sign or a good sign. That also puts us in the neighborhood of reshoots. So reshoots happen. But they have to edit a little bit of it to get. They have to edit most of it together to know what to reshoot, if they need any reshoots and all that jazz. So we still have a little bit of time before we start getting much more as to what's actually going to happen in the movie. But all of the stuff with Mysterio, and it looks like maybe Tom Holland and Jake Gyllenhaal just had enough chemistry that they could go through everything really quick. I don't know. I'm kind of excited about it, though. I'm not gonna lie. We are moving next over to we'll keep it in Marvel. We have another Morbius the Living Vampire update. We got a villain announced, and The deeper we get into Sony's spiderless universe, the more I am not certain it's gonna last. So we got Venom, which was okay-ish. And now we are getting this announcement. The antagonist for the Morbius the Living Vampire movie is going to be Hunger, who is an antagonist in the series. But this version of Hunger isn't exactly what we get in the books. So, in the book, Hunger starts off as a different supervillain known as Crown. In the movie, they're making Crown into a person who is friends with Michael Morbius, who becomes the living vampire, and his name is Loxias Crown. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce whatever. You can see the spelling in the description. So they're creating a character, mostly, to turn into the antagonist to our anti-hero. That's the only casting that has been announced so far is Jared Leto, who is going to play Morbius. We've talked about that before. This is so weird. But I'm not a huge... we've talked about this before. I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan, so I don't know how I should feel about this necessarily. And Morbius even is one of the kind of B-roll characters. He's not really... I don't know. I just feel like Sony... The big thing to take away from this is Sony is taking too many freaking liberties with these products, and yeah, Venom did okay, but partially because the budget was lowish. And partially because people had to see how the hell they were going to make a Venom movie without Spider-Man. Though, I did kind of call it with Venom. The second movie will focus on Carnage, just like I felt like they should have done that. You have to establish this universe without Spider-Man, without showing all of your cards at once. And now they're going to show the last of their hand with the next movie, and then that's going to be it. This can't be sustainable. The turnout for Morbius and Kraven and very likely Silver Sable and Black Cat, all of these movies are going to do moderate to mediocre. They're not going to be great, but they're also probably going to be profitable, if even by a slight margin. I hope that when that happens, Sony decides to start playing nice with Disney and we can fully integrate these guys back into the Marvel Universe proper, and then we can get the movies we deserve and not whatever the hell Sony is trying to schlock out to us. But that, guys, is where we are ending this week's movies episode. What did I miss? What should we talk about next week? Let me know in the comments down below. If, though, you want to go deeper in the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net. That is the place that you can go get all of the freebies, all of the social media links, all of the store links so you can get your nerdy swag. Everything is up on generallynerdy.net. Or if you want to help support the channel a little more directly, there's a Patreon page. Everybody knows how Patreon works these days. You can become my patron for just $1 a month. You do get extra content for that $1. Or there are higher tiers if you want more stuff. Go check it out over on patreon.com/generallynerdy. If you're new to this channel, though, click the subscribe button. If you like this episode, click the like button. If you are falling behind in your nerd news and you want to catch up, click or tap that box right there to the left of my face to do that. But before we click the box and do the things, guys, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.